This is that always that awkward phase where I'm actually not sure if we're live or not. Because on my end, I can see it. On your end, we are, because Lyle's already given the first chat message of the day. Let's do it. So let's do it. Hello, everyone. I am the Arty. You are watching Shockmania live stream, New Year's Eve edition, 2 days before New Year's, obviously. Special guests galore today. I'm going to introduce my normal partner in crime, and that is good old Neddy. Neddy, sir, put the book down.
Hello.
Well, that was theatrical. Hello, Neddy.
Good day. You just caught me in my usual routine, reading books.
Reading books? You should be watching horror movies. What are you talking about, my friend?
Sometimes when I can squeeze them in between all my learned exercises of the day.
Now, Ned, I've got a gift for you for this live stream. I've got a special guest making her debut. Her excitingly debut, and I can't wait to have. I hope you're ready for this, Holly.
Bring her on.
Bring her on. Welcome to the Hell House, Holly.
Hello.
I think the two of us need no introductions because you do know us and you've known us for a long time.
Of course.
Part of the Discord channel. Of course, if you want to join the Discord, there is a link in the description, and Neddy will probably pop up a link sometime after the video is finished as well. But everyone's going to be excited to know a little bit more about who Holly is. So would you mind giving us a 64-word or less introduction about yourself?
64-word or less. Do these words count?
Yes, these guys count. They count.
Well, been watching your channel for a few years, so this is like completely awesome for me. I'm just a movie lover who's been watching stuff since before I could walk and talk, which was super healthy, by the way. Super healthy for the psych.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm pretty boring. Not much else you need to know.
I disagree, because if anyone had seen the thumbnail, they would have seen a really cool picture of you. Do you want to give us a little bit of a backstory about that thumbnail and what you used to do?
Yes, so I actually used to cosplay at Comic-Cons. It's a little secret of mine. Not anymore. That specific one was inspired by Zam Wesell from Star Wars. I want to say episode 3.
Nedd,
Bounty Hunter.
Let me get my nerd glasses on. Do I know? I do like 3 Star Wars movies. And it came around the time that I was before I had a driver's license.
Yeah,
so I don't think she was in one of those, but I applaud your nerd heart. I truly do, Holly. I'm so excited to have you on. We've been chatting in Discord, and you have such a keen sense of humor and clearly a passion for horror. And for some reason, you seem to like a lot of what Dan publicized in his opinions. So that's one reason I want to kind of interrogate you for the next hour and find out why exactly do you trust this man's taste in horror movies?
That's a good question. I'm not sure, to be honest.
I'm not sure either, Holly. Do you know what? You know what would make this better? If we could ever convince Anthony to join us, there would be 4 wildly different opinions. We would have the greatest debate ever. And Anthony, if you're on the chat, send us a message. But the chat seems to be going great. Kurt's really active. So, hey, Kurt, good to see you, and Merry Christmas all. Now, I understand that there is a big football game happening in an hour. For you East Coasters in the US. Is that correct, Nedd?
Yeah, there's a football game on tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm trying to place who is playing tonight, but anyways, it'll come to me. It'll come to me later.
Well, we will make sure that we are finished by then, so everyone can tuck into their American football game, and Dan can go off. It'll be 12 o'clock my time, and enjoy the 33-degree heat. That's for you guys over there. That's the equivalent of about 94, 95. Anthony's here as well in the chat. We've got all the usual suspects. So I think we should get cracking. Tonight, what we're going to do is talk about our 3 favorite and 3 least favorite 2025. I'm going to take the glasses off. 2025 horror movies of the year. So the rules that we set ourselves were the movie had to be released this year. So we've all seen a pretty big variety of films this year. And thanks to the Discord channel, we've been sharing a heap of movies as well from all different time frames. So we've had a real big exposure, but we wanted to keep our focus really narrow. Ned's also got something very special. Yes,
released in your region where you could watch it.
Ah, yes, very good caveat. Yes, because I think one of my movies was a 2024 that was released in 2025. Now, Ned's going to go last because Ned's got a couple of extra categories, and I think they're going to be a lot of fun. I'll go first, and then Holly will go second with her announcements. So let's have a look at mine. Now, I don't think mine are going to be a surprise, only because I made that bloody video about it a couple of weeks ago. So I think you guys should all be familiar with this. I love my Final Destination, and I loved my weapons. Nedd, what could the third movie I loved possibly be?
You're going to try and pull it out of me, huh? You want to sit me down in the dentist chair, show me the drill, and have me open my mouth wide with a smile.
Absolutely, because I know that you love this third movie.
There's a good chance that your third movie might also be on one of my lists.
I think it will be, and I haven't seen your list. Should I reveal what it is?
Let's see. All I'm going to say is I'm going to quote you from your excellent, by the way, excellent. If you don't mind me stroking you a little bit, not to the point of release, but just a little bit. But you said this movie has loyalty to the actual character, and I don't know how you derive that. I don't know under what universe could you possibly equate the character in this movie to the character from the original. But please continue. Don't let me steal your thunder.
Holly, have you got any idea what it could be?
I have an idea, but I'm probably wrong.
You're not wrong. Nedd, I'm going to be honest with you. This was actually a gag guess. It was a gag guess. My legitimate third film was Sana. Let me hear.
Okay.
From Japan.
Okay.
I wanted to have a little bit of fun with you because I know how much you loved my review of Screenboat and what you thought my opinion of. Now, have either of you two seen this Sana movie?
I just watched it for the first time a couple weeks ago.
The first one or the second one?
Both.
Both. What did you think?
I think he had some ideas, albeit maybe not my favorite ideas.
Fair enough.
But I don't think that they were as horrible as some other of recent attempts, like the one that dropped on Netflix. I can't remember what it's called. It starts with an H, because that was just like atrocious to me. Homunculus.
Oh, Homunculus.
Oh, Homunculus.
Oh
yeah,
God.
that was god awful. So this is like a huge improvement, I think.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Lyle just said you're getting ads. I don't know what you mean by that. If you're getting ads, I'm really sorry, Lyle. I don't know what's happening there. But certainly not Frankenstein. Now, when Kurt says meh, are you referring to Screenboat or are you referring to Sana? I'm be curious. I think he's referring to Sana. All right. Well, so this is a controversial statement. I don't think my least favorite 3 are going to be controversial at all. They were all public domain trash. I abhorred all 3 of these films. And I think the general consensus from the two of you as well is that you would agree with me that these were just, ugh. Am I right?
Yeah.
I didn't like any of the Popeyes. I haven't personally liked any, except for one. Although I don't know if it'd be considered IP, but there's something I appreciate and applaud the taking these IPs, and we had this conversation earlier this year. I appreciate the taking these IPs from specific companies who haven't exactly been doing a great job of being a caretaker for these IPs. It's been regurgitating the same old shite
Yeah.
and doing a worse job of it. So by all means, take these movies and drag them. But every single one of these feels like a cheap, not even a swing and a miss, just a cash grab, cheap movie, not a lot of imagination or thought put into it. And for that reason, I've just had zero draw with any of these movies.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Holly?
Every time I see one of these come out, the only thing I can ask myself is, obviously, other than, the obvious, money. But the other thing to me is just like who wanted this? Who is this made for?
Well, the
Because
producer wanted it, clearly, because look, they're quick cash grabs. Tubi vacuums them up, and people sit there and watch it. And so clearly they wouldn't make them if they weren't getting watched. I think I hear a lot of people praise Neverland Nightmare, and I just don't see it. It's just so vile as a film, and I like stupid horror films, but this was drawing the line. Kurt reckons that Screamboat would blow Hannah Let Me Hear out of the park. That is a very spicy statement, I would think, Kurt.
Phew.
Very spicy.
Phew.
All right. So that's mine, and I think that none of these are a surprise. But what will be a surprise is that now we get to hear from Holly, and we get to hear what Holly's 3 thumbs up were. So would you like to go through, Holly?
yeah, sorry, my phone just bugged out. Yeah, I know nobody's gonna love my my choices. Until Dawn was definitely my top of the year. That movie just completely surprised me. I first off, I don't watch trailers at all. I don't watch trailers. I like to go into the movie as blind as possible, which obviously can either be really good or really bad. Until Dawn, it was so fun. The transformations were cool. Like, it was creepy at points. I thought that was honestly just great. Bloodlines. I mean, come on. That was even better just because of the fact that they really did make you like that family. They make you feel for that family. You are rooting for that family, albeit, for no reason, because how it's going to go.
Side note, when you Americans say the word root, like for us and for Anthony, root means to have sex. So when we hear you guys say we're rooting for you, I'm just sitting there thinking you guys just want to shag them. But anyway, it's besides the point. It's just a great little subtlety between the differences of our languages. But anyway, continue, please.
My bad. No, I'm like, oh, great. And
you and your kangaroos.
Sorry, I've totally destroyed Holly's train of thought. Sorry.
You definitely did, yeah. Now that's all I'm thinking about. And the last one was Wolfman. I know that's like nobody likes that movie. But I actually really enjoyed that because, again, it wasn't anything that I was expecting it to be. I feel like when you go into movies without seeing any of the trailers, without really knowing anything that's going on, you're either going to like it that much more. And I genuinely did. I also just felt like, if I was in that situation, well, my poor husband, because I'm killing you. I'm not trying to save you at that point, like this poor woman here. But, yeah, so that was actually, those were my top 3 again. And I know that they're not popular top 3 choices.
Just as a side note, Lyle's asked if Wolfman was from this year, but I noticed that you spelt Wolfman as one word, Lyle. It's actually 2 words, Wolfman, and that's what got me when I was searching for the title as well. So yeah, Wolfman, 2 different words, is from this year. Kurt says something funny. Me and my girl are going to root all night long. Well, that sounds absolutely normal to Anthony and I. That's exactly what you would do. You'd root all night long. So
I just hope he's not talking about Mindy.
No. No. I loved Until Dawn. Did you play the game, Holly?
So I actually, as much as I love gaming, I can't play horror games to save my life because I'm a chicken shit.
Oh,
so no.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, no, I will watch a Let's Play on YouTube, but I cannot play a horror game. I haven't played it. I haven't even watched the Let's Play for it. My brother did tell me like about the game. He explained it, so I know that it's like drastically different from the movie. I know that that's also like why a lot of people don't like the movie, but
Drastically
I
different.
just think,
I don't
yeah,
agree with that.
that's
I
what I
think
was told.
because the whole concept of the movie is, the game is if a character dies, they die in your playthrough, and so the movie clearly couldn't do that. So the movie introduced the element of the repeating date, which I liked. So maybe that's what he meant by completely different. But like the main bad characters were the same. Peter Stormare was still
Yeah,
there. The concept of the guys in their little world was still there. Although that world that they were trapped in, again, different from the game. So yeah,
I
actually,
guess
maybe
just
now
the
that I've
time
spoken
loop.
out loud,
Like, I guess just the time loop element is really what like throws people off and what would cause that. I personally like movies with time loops. I think yeah, that's actually like one of my favorites. I love that. I think that that's like time loops are so interesting because it genuinely just shows like the person just degrading. Like you are losing your mind,
That's
and
clearly what happens in this one. Yeah,
yeah, but for them it was like mental and physical, like that added bonus of that. That's why like I just really enjoyed that movie.
it's good to
I'm
see you.
getting
Yeah, Ned.
I'm getting a feeling that these three movies, you kind of like a psychological element and trying to figure out, okay, is the protagonist going to somehow be able to get through this, as opposed to slasher or monster type movie.
So yeah, I do actually really like a psychological aspect, but I'm not gonna lie, I really enjoy just watching these people get killed in like the most hysterical, like messed
Okay,
up ways. It's
that's cool.
both for me. It
Did you
is.
like?
It is both.
Did you like remember Karada Sagashi?
Remember which one was?
That's
Oh
Japanese.
yeah, okay. Um, I I thought that one was okay. It was fun. I liked that. Not like I wasn't like a huge fan. It wasn't blown away by it like I was with Until Dawn, but I did like it.
Because it does have the same characters constantly dying over and over and over again.
Yeah, that one, like I said, that one it was fun, but it wasn't my favorite. This one was just like, that, come on, they drank water and they exploded. You don't get much better than that.
We all like how silly. Should we move on to your thumbs downs? Yeah, Ned,
Yeah.
prepared.
Yeah, we can. But I just want to say, I think we need to tie a string around our fingers and have Holly back to do a top list of time loop horror movies, because there's
Great.
plenty in this. There's plenty in the chamber, I think, to do something like that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Definitely. I've got
yeah.
a few already on the mind. Um, yeah, so I hated the Black Phone too. Hated it. I hated it. I hated it so much.
No
Um,
disagreement from me.
And were
I
you a
just
big fan of the first movie?
uh the first movie was like that was my top movie of that year.
Okay, I get you. So this is a big letdown.
This was like, okay, who was this movie made for? Why was this made? Who thought this was a good idea?
Yeah,
Why was there all of a sudden this like goofy, weird comedic element like she's spinning in the phone booth? Like, why did this happen?
that must have happened after I stopped watching it. The spinning
I
in the phone booth.
kept watching because I thought like surely this will get better. I loved the first one so much. Again, I went into the first one blind, so I did not know that there was that cool supernatural element. I love like true crime stuff, so that was like the perfect film for me. And
Hmm.
then all of a sudden, we've got like he's Freddy Krueger with his freaking nose missing and he looks stupid. It was just I this movie was just hot garbage for me.
That's all I need to hear about it.
This movie triggers me so much.
Yeah, we can tell.
Yeah.
We can tell. Yes. Explain the other two because I've never seen Hell House movies. Never.
Okay. Hell House. I have taken years to get to a point where I actually really love found footage. I hated it originally. I've grown to love it. And this movie, it was just like these people didn't take note from the Blair Witch Project when they decided in the second movie that it was no longer found footage, right? That was like, nobody liked it then. And now all of a sudden you made Hell House not found footage. We've been found footage for like what, 5, 6 movies now all of a sudden. Now it's like, no, we're going to have like the traditional Hell House, haunted house, schlock. Like it, why?
Sounds like
Again.
Blair Witch Project Part 2.
What's with the Michael Myers on the front cover? It looks like a Michael Myers.
The clown. Yeah, well, you know what? The clown even looks stupid on the front cover also. That's how bad that movie was. That was an abomination.
So what you're describing reminds me a bit of the Spanish Rec series, where the first 2 are found footage, the third one is half found footage, half normal, and then the fourth one's just completely normal. And then by the fourth one, it's just a horrible, horrible series of films.
Yeah, just like Blair Witch 2. Blair Witch 2 didn't do found footage, tried to make a horror movie with some premise with just a name slapped on it. It was complete garbage.
Which one was
it lost none of the charm of the first movie.
What was part 2? That's Book of Shadows?
Book of Shadows.
Yep.
Oh. All right, explain Attack 13.
Oh God, that I couldn't even finish that one. Listen. The minute that we start talking about you need the urine of a virgin, that's when you lose me. And I was really.
Can you say that again?
I know.
This movie,
let me cross it off of my screenplay.
Yeah.
This movie, I thought the idea was interesting. Like, you know, the ghost is not like, she's not the innocent victim. The ghost is the bully. Like, okay, that's cool. I can get on board with that. But then they're trying to vanquish the ghost. And all of a sudden this guy is just like, you need the urine of a virgin. And I'm just like, what is happening? When I got to that point, that was like an hour in. That's when I turned it off. And I was just like, I wasted an hour of my life I'll never get back. I had so little time to watch a movie today, and this was the nonsense that I put on. It ruined my week.
Look, to be fair to them,
that's bad.
To be fair to Attack 13, you did waste 2 hours on Black Phone too. So hey,
the urine of a virgin doesn't sound like a horror movie to me. Just saying.
Listen, if it's the blood of a virgin, okay, everybody's heard of the blood of the virgin, like fine.
I agreed. It sounds like a different genre of movies. What it sounds like.
Yeah, I was like, this is got some weird, creepy, like fetish thing going on. Like, what was that? The minute that they said that, I was just like, yeah, you know what? This isn't for me, and I'm so sad that I wasted my life on this.
Part of me just wonders how the composition of urine changes after not being a virgin, or even blood. But that's just
I mean, you know what?
You have already put too much thought into this movie, I think, than a single writer behind that movie.
Way too much thought. Well,
I think Smith Jack said it correctly. It's a poorly disguised fetish. 100%. That happens in a lot of movies.
Well, Holly, I've got to admit that was quite a spicy bottom 3, I would say. Very interesting bottom 3. But now,
can I add to that? Because I think I caught a little bit of a theme too with Holly's bottom 3. It seems to me, well, possibly except for that third one, but for the first 2, the Hell House and Black Phone 2, these are movies that had pre-established kind of rules. And then the next movies just completely took those rules and wiped its ass with it and kind of just did whatever it felt like doing.
Certainly Black Phone too.
Yeah, that, come on. How did we go from like just being like so serious to, you know, whatever that was? And I'm not like completely against changes, because you know what, I will say I enjoyed when we got like, you know, the reboot of like the Chucky films, like Cult of Chucky and like all of those. I really enjoyed those. They were different. Like I enjoyed those. I'm not against changing the dynamic of, you know, the movies, but when you have like just you have these characters, we love these characters, the story, everything was just very serious and everything was wrapped up so perfectly. There was no need for a sequel to The Black Phone at all. I was in that camp. I definitely didn't see the need for a sequel. But of course, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to watch it because I love the first one so much. And you took all of the things that were good about it and you like took a crap on it.
Yeah.
You made it goofy. You made it weird and not in a good way. Like, why is this girl being flung around the kitchen? Like, it was just not good.
Can I just
it's one thing to go in with a set of expectations and have it subverted, but it's another thing entirely when, okay, this is just different for different sake, and or you're just making up rules. Because I'm a huge proponent of give me at least some set of rules and be authentic. And when it's when it loses that sincerity, then you're like, okay, well, if you don't care about this movie or some of the rules are, how can I be invested in this at all?
It's just like the perfect example of like you took your own movie and you took a crap on it. Like you had something really good here and then you decided to expand it for the sake of expansion, I guess, when there was just absolutely no reason to. And that to me is just like when you start doing that in your movies, you lose what people fell in love with to begin with. And it didn't work for me. And I know a lot of people really did enjoy it because it was different. And it was, a lot of people enjoyed The Black Phone too.
Okay.
Cool. I did not, but it didn't work for me.
Can I just acknowledge a message from Lyle, a very funny chat message there, where he's clearly in reference to Attack 13, where he says, you missed the cool twist, it was a pisser. That's Australian humour, Lyle, and I love it. And even though I know you're not an Australian, that is just beautiful humour. Nedd, I also want to apologise for the fact that you have the chat window stuck to the side of your head. I can't move it, unfortunately. So
It's
really
all right.
sorry.
It's all right. Ow!
Now, how about we move into your presentation? What do you think?
All right.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. All right.
Uh-oh, hold on. Hold on. What do I do?
You did this on purpose.
No,
I know.
didn't.
I got you.
Oh, God.
No, you're sabotaging my list. It's okay. No surprises.
How do I do this?
Do it all right there.
Fit.
I think you know someone.
My goodness. I was ready to open up by complimenting your editing ability and your ability to like be such a master of the visual
moved everything,
content streaming, and how you just so well organized and put together.
Hold on. I don't know what. I don't
And
know
now
what
we're gone. And now we're back.
No,
This is great.
Sorry, hold on. Give me a second. Give me a second. You guys just continue talking while I get this restarted again.
I'll continue spinning about how amazing you are. So I'm going to tell you, actually, I'm going to give you some true compliments here. Your year-end video was a masterclass in succinctity. You squeezed, I don't even know how many movies you squeezed in there, but you put a year's worth. And you did it. You basically created 10 to 15 second movie synopsises with commentary. I could never in my wildest imagination pull off that kind of a feat with that many movies. I don't even know how to say it's cold outside with less than 45 words. So what you did right there was a masterclass, sir. That was amazing.
Do you want to know the funniest part about that? That was completely unscripted. And as I was editing it together, I would just turn on the microphone and quickly say a review. So each review was about 3 minutes long because I was like, no, I said the wrong thing there. And then I just cut it together. So the idea was that I would just quickly do those reviews within, 5 to 10 seconds. So thank you for acknowledging that.
Behind the Dungeon Master screen, sir.
Yeah. All right. But enough about me. How about we go into you? And
well, I also want to say that because this will lead into me. So, and I like it when Dan leads into me. Rooting aside. So number two, I thought you graded, one thing you did to grade, and that's what's going to bring me to my best stuff. You clearly said that, these were your favorite movies based on entertainment value. And for me, that's hard to, and I think that's really the key. That's the secret sauce with horror movies. No one's going to say, there's a reason why, not that the Oscars deserve credence for anything that they derive, but there's a reason why horror movies generally don't get lauded with praises for their content, because it's extremely subjective. I mean, that and comedy are probably the two most subjective genres of cinema.
Very true.
So it's really like, how much fun did you have watching this? And we all have our different levels. I mean, Holly just shared some of the things that throw her off the rails, which align kind of a lot with what throws me off the rails. So number one, though, you owned your score. You don't give two Fs. And that's the second beautiful thing about this list. So without further ado,
so Holly,
we can go ahead to my best of.
That's a reference to Screamboat and Hot Spring Shark Attack. That's what Ned's doing then. He's having a thinly veiled attack at my rating those movies very highly.
I mean, I've already said, I think earlier today, I don't know how Holly could even trust any of your opinions and editorials on these movies. So I'm not sure how thin that veil was, but.
No, that's not thin anymore. That's quite thick. It's a 2x4 you're hitting me with. Yeah. All right. You want me to skip? You need to tell me when to move slides.
Go for it. Move it.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so honorable mentions. All right, so you touched on two of these. Your favorite was Final Destination, Bloodlines. I frankly, this is one of those movies that I only I had a cautionary interest in, because I'm not a big fan of some of those Final Destinations, to be quite honest with you. I think they're sort of silly. But I had a lot of freaking fun with this movie, man. We both enjoyed it quite a bit. The Monkey, I thought this movie was just amazing. You agreed with my 4 ghost rating, yet you seem to make it 3 ghosts. So this is one of my critiques. You were kind of inconsistent with your year ends, sir. But that's fine. You could sort of backtrack down to 3 ghosts if you thought you had, you needed to get a certain other movie into the 4 ghost realm, but you get the Monkey at 3. But that's cool. That's cool.
It's called reflection, Ned.
And then, no, true. Oh, I've reflected on this list and it's putting it. So yeah, true. And then, of course, Strange Harvest, which is a movie that I'm not really sure we ever talked about, but it's a pretty dope take on one of those sort of docu movies where you're following the investigation of a serial killer. And I just thought it was a very clever movie. It's an independent movie, and it still delivered a couple gore scenes. So I quite enjoy what Strange Harvest gave you. It's not going to knock your socks off, but if you got a few minutes and you want to sit down and watch something new and interesting, it's definitely, you won't be wasting your time watching it. So we can go to my top 3 now.
Well, firstly, you've introduced that movie to quite a few in the chat who look like they want to watch it. But a few minutes. So if it's only a couple minutes long, I could definitely enjoy a movie.
No. It's more than a couple minutes. All right. It's a feature-length film. But I mean, what it means, I happen to also grade on a curve for independent films.
Yes.
And I think they deserve more love than they got.
Absolutely. I'm not so strict on them as well. Okay, so I'll move to the next slide.
Please. Right. So you knew Sinners was going to be on this list.
Did? Yep.
That was a movie that I did a horrific movie review for on your channel. Still incredibly green behind the ears. Still am, but for sure that back then. That movie, it's not for everybody. I just happen to just enjoy the ride. Again, it's Oh Brother, Where Art Thou meets Dusk Till Dawn, and it's got some. And also the performances, some of them are pretty over the top, but still the performances are just a lot of fun. And Michael B. Jordan was incredible. And I like musicals. I mean, this is actually a musical, so it's kind of wild. I don't know how Ryan Coogler made this movie work, but he did. So he gets pops. Number 2, Weapons. This was the most fun I had in the movie theaters this year. It was just, I sat down, I brought a buddy of mine, and we had lousy seats for it. But the theater was packed, and we were just, I was cackling. I was cackling in the seats. It also revealed to me what my favorite movie monster actually is. I think it's the witch. I think witches are just a really dope movie monster because they're kind of like unassuming. It's almost like the Hannibal Lecter of psychological killers and slashers. Like it's not the big scary monster in the room that you know is good, bloodthirsty and going to get you and primal. It's the little old lady in the corner, and you just don't know what the hell they're going to do next or how they're going to do it. But it's going to be nasty.
Pretty mean in the film, though.
Oh yeah, she's. I'm just talking witches in general, but in this movie, yeah, she's awful and manipulative, and it's just. I thought it was delightful. There was obviously some gaping plot holes in that movie, but the movie was entertaining enough and had some like strong performances from Josh Brolin and Julie Garner that frankly did enough for me to it washed over the plot holes. I just sat and just watched it for what it was. And then I gotta say the number one, The Ugly Stepsister, that's been jostling my top 5 list for pretty much since I watched it, just wondering like where exactly do I grade this movie? But I alluded to earlier in this live stream that there was only one sort of kind of IP-ish type movie that really delivered.
Yeah.
This thing did turn the story on its head. It literally gave you a completely different prism of this very well-known fairy tale. And it pieced you in, and on your review you said it just continually kept you glued to see what was going to happen next. It had moments of lots of unsavory characterizations of both, male toxicities, and they did male toxicity correct. And it wasn't like in your face messaging and like the overbearing mother and desperation and wretchedness. You understood the motivations of like every single person in that movie. There was no one that was purely innocent, and there was really no one in it that was purely guilty. You kind of got it, like how people behaved the way they behaved. And it made it kind of like very sort of a lived-in world. So anyways, Ugly Stepsister, if you haven't seen it, you should give it a watch. It's a great little body horror movie, and I can't recommend it highly enough.
Kurt says he hadn't seen it, but we've got a positive from Anthony and Lyle. Now, this is why I say we should have Anthony on the live stream, because he is saying that Weapons is part of his worst list. And I really need to understand the perspective of someone else and what they didn't enjoy about it. And that's what I like about our Discord, is that we can do that. We can talk about why we like or dislike a film. And again, plugging the Discord as always. But I would actually just love to hear Anthony explain his reasons behind Weapons. We won't attack you, Anthony. I promise we won't attack you. We're just curious.
I'm just curious. You're wrong, but I'm curious. I really want to hear. I want to give you as much runway as possible to prove how wrong you are.
Well, remember, he's not wrong, because the caveat is always what we find.
Of course,
enjoyable.
Of course.
And that's 100%. What Anthony finds enjoyable or not enjoyable. And so he's not wrong at all. Except for Samala, he's not wrong. Which I also gave 3 ghosts to Anthony, so clearly I liked it too. Shall we move on?
That's on my list now that I have to watch just because of how much you guys joke about that movie.
Look, the little girl in it is awesome. She's fabulous in it, and she saves the film from Luna Maya destroying yet another Indonesian movie.
Yeah, I know.
She's horrible in it. But the little girl saves the day. Ned, shall we move on?
Please, yeah.
By the way, I'm loving the craziness of these slides, but I think I need to get you the font that I use for the channel so that we can have a consistent font. But anyway.
You're not the boss of me.
Ooh.
Actually, you kind of are. Oh.
All right, hit me. Worst.
All right. So we got, none of these should be too much of a surprise. We talked about Monster Island. That was just a movie that... Monster Island kind of disappointed me because I went in with low expectations, and it kind of started off investing me into these 2 characters on the boat during World War II, and I'm like, okay, I came with no expectations. Now all of a sudden I'm totally invested in these 2 characters. And then it just went to Dumb City at the speed of light and kept on going. And then they had that drag out jungle scene where the 2 characters are separated, and you could tell they're just filming sort of the same kind of ravine water and the same jungle. And I'm being tortured with this never ending scenery. I think they're trying to create like a Predator, the Schwarzenegger movie kind of feel where they're isolated and this monster could attack them from anywhere. And the monster's got eggs, and then just kind of piled on all this caca. And I just really, it took my expectations from nothing to something to negative.
And you know what? For an 80-minute movie, for it to drag on at one bit, that's an achievement.
It was. You hit it right there. 80 minutes, and it felt like it really just was unrelenting. It had a feel of, oh man, Dan, the movie's on the tip of my tongue with the first person perspective slasher where he just walks through the woods. He has really creative.
In a Violent Nature.
There you go, Holly. Hey,
see,
Holly, thank you. Great pull.
That was also awful.
You didn't like it?
Hated that.
Ooh. Okay. I didn't hate it, but I can see why people didn't like it. K2 hated it. Screamboat, that was crap. That didn't resemble anything Steamboat Willie that I remember. I know the cast was intentionally terrible, but I couldn't stand the creative pull behind them, the words, and now the pantomiming and I know it's low budget, but the effects just rocked me. And none about that movie. I found that movie grating all the way through. But it doesn't hold candle to Clown in a Cornfield. Clown in a Cornfield takes all the tropes I hate about movies and basically, exponentiates them. And I hated that movie. I knew there was a turn in the movie, and I hated it with a passion of 1,000 suns. I'm not going to lie, I was kind of hoping it was going to go supernatural.
You did.
And it did the opposite. And it was just, I'm like, I kept on saying, this movie's not going to go supernatural, is it? This movie's not going to go supernatural. And it didn't. I was like,
Now, Holly's just about to explode to say something about this movie, I think.
Oh, go ahead, Holly.
That was almost in my top list. I took it out this morning.
Good. All right, come at me. Where's my opinion stupid? I want to hear.
I was just surprised. I think, like, for me, when it comes to, like, especially for, like, my best, it's always like the one that surprises me, the one that I'm like, oh, I'm actually kind of having fun with this. And I had fun with that one. I thought that it was, obviously, it's not groundbreaking. I also was kind of hoping it was going to go for the supernatural element, but it didn't. And then I was just like, well, that's cool too. I actually was totally fine. I was along for the ride for it. I actually really did like it. It surprised me because when I saw the cover and I was like, oh, in the cornfield, this is going to be, hot garbage. And then I watched it and I was just like, I didn't hate this.
And you were right. It's an okay slasher. Come on. And
a lunch lady is killing people. Grown men are running away from lunch ladies. Like, come on.
Listen, lunch ladies are tough.
Not that one. Also, Dan, what does it have? It has one of my biggest pet peeve movies. The chainsaw. That's wielded like a lightsaber.
Yeah. It's funny because we've got some different opinions in the chat. Like Lyle said he hasn't seen it, but he's sick of killer clowns. And Anthony liked it. See, I'm kind of a little bit closer to you. I didn't mind it. I didn't think it was that bad a film. It just was special. Sorry, Collie. But I like slashers.
Oh yeah, I like slashers too. I mean, I did, like I said, I obviously I did take it out because it wasn't, top material, clearly.
But see, I don't like Scream because I don't like the idea of just like normal people going, I'm gonna up and decide to dress up and kill people. Okay, well, I mean, I can't speak from experience, but I'm pretty sure dressing up, putting on a mask, and killing people is not easy. Deciding to DIY your kitchen's hard, but putting on a costume, chasing people around and sneaking up on them, surprising them and murdering them. I mean, I gotta say that's probably a little step up from, building a patio.
But Ned, that's why there's always at least 2 of them. And in Clown in the Cornfield, there was 68 of them doing it. So, come on. I
mean, when you've got a team that big, you're bound to be able to accomplish something.
How do you keep that a secret? And how do you get all hands on deck for that? No.
Sorry, Lyle. No. Clown in the Cornfield for you. Me to do that.
Got 2 clowns in a cornfield here on the stream with me.
Yeah. Oh, Screenboat's getting a sequel. See, that's fabulous news. That is the news that we need.
Okay, you know what? Maybe what we need to do is that should be your Shockmania live watch, Screenboat 2.
If we don't get copyright claim for it, it sounds like a great idea. Shall we move on to the next one?
Yeah, let's move on.
Uh-oh, what is it? Oh, you bad man.
These are movies that I want this time back in my life. And some of these movies live rent free in my head. And there's a person, I'm not going to name him, but there's somebody who recommended and insisted and almost forced me a machete point, because guns are outlawed in the country he lives in, to watch these movies. Caveat: the Forbidden Door, and those in the Shockmania chat will know this. I found that utterly distasteful because of some of the content, some of the material that it touched on, and it also kind of was my patient zero of the Indo-nauseum that has started. Haunted Road. I'm trying to understand. You and I just completely saw that movie from two different lenses. Though that cast was utterly ridiculous. I did enjoy your behind the scenes on it. How the lead actress is actually Korean, and they actually had this sort of, I guess, put Chinese or Mandarin over her while she was speaking. That was kind of funny. That was an interesting backstory. If I had gone into knowing that, I might have enjoyed the movie a little bit more. But I just found the cast utterly just disgusting, and then the entire movie completely unbelievable. And then it had the Chinese ending that I knew was going to be delivered. So that movie was just a complete waste of my time.
Did you just insult Zombie Ass, Toilet of the Dead?
Oh, I didn't even get to Zombie Ass yet.
Ah, well, firstly, Haunted Road is all a dream, so that's why it's unbelievable. Okay,
and that's why I guess I was wrong. It's a great movie.
It's a fabulous film. Part 2 and 3 are crap, but the first one's good. Wow.
And I'll touch on the number one movie. So we talked about, I think it was Smart Jack. This is I feel a very thinly failed fetish movie. And I was watching it going into it, and it just like, a guy hiding out in a toilet while a hot chick goes to use the toilet, and then everything just escalates from there. I had to watch it while I was on my treadmill, just so I could kind of like keep myself occupied in a state of just like effort. And I think I watched that movie mostly like this.
See, I like fart jokes. That's why I love Blazing Saddles. I can watch Blazing Saddles over and over and over again. And even the Nutty Professor,
me too.
One, like I can watch that family dinner scene over again. And so this
movie is not a fart joke though. This is a bit more. You calling this movie a fart joke is like me calling the Evil Dead Part 2 Nickelodeon. I can't do that on television. It's a little bit more extreme than just having a bunch of slime dropped on your head. This movie takes fart to like the extreme level.
There's a farting jetpack in it, Holly. Yeah.
Well, don't we all wish we could have one?
See? We all wish we could have them, Ned. It's a general consensus.
It's a superhero movie. I guess I missed it.
I'm going to go on Temu and order my farting jetpack today.
I want to get it on Temu, man. Get yourself a parachute with that.
Come on. It has one of the classic endings of just a half-naked girl in a farting jetpack fighting against a transformed zombie / mosquito thing.
Dude, the movie is nothing but endings.
Oh, I get what you did there. Very funny. I should have put my sound effect thing on where I go. Anyway, thank you. I disagree with you on Zombie Ass.
Do you?
Yeah. You want to know a funny story? So I bought that disc in a video store in China, like a video store in China. It's like a place that just sells wall-to-wall bootleg discs, right? And I was searching through discs, and I picked it up and thought, this looks all right. I'll buy this. It was like the equivalent of Australian $2, right? And I had it for years, never watched it. It was still wrapped in plastic. And then one day I was going through websites of movies to watch, and I saw it there, and I thought, I'll give it a shot. And actually watched it, and I never enjoyed a stupid movie as much as that one. Never. And I think the disc's still in plastic too. I don't think I've ever actually opened it. Sorry. Do you have more slides, Ned?
I do.
Uh-oh. Oh, thank God.
All right, this is a plug to you. So first I wanted to kind of like, throw some shade at you, but in all honesty, Shockmania has been a wonderful find. So I figured I should end the year with giving a little bit of gratitude. Gratitude belongs in all things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, without trying to pump you up too much, I found your channel. I thought you were like, this is a guy who just, wearing a t-shirt, scruffy, just hanging out, complete as he is, spilling the beans in a very clever, entertaining way about these movies I'd never heard of before in my life. You turned me on to Indonesian films. You turned me on to, I was already watching Korean and I was already watching J-horror, but I haven't seen for sure Indonesians. And you turned me on to Satan's Slaves 1 and 2, and I said, all right, I need to learn more what this guy has in store. And I found that some of the movies that you reviewed that were terrible, your reviews were equally entertaining. So this is also a shout out to the Shockmania Discord channel because of the people such as Kurt, Anthony, Lyle, a lot of people who are in the chat right now, Justy, and Anthony pumps in the most reviews by far. But for those of you who are not in the Discord and who are watching this live stream and have made it this far, thank you for making it this far. What Dan produces on his channel is almost dwarfed by the amount of unsolicited reviews pumped in by the members of the Discord channel, which if you want to join, jump on in, throw in a review. That's what it's here for. We're sharing movies that we may or may not have seen before, and also just trying to get the opinions of everyone else who has seen it before. And some of them have been great hits. Bad Moon, came on the show. That was by Kimba. I had seen that very, very, very long ago, but I'm glad he brought it up again because it probably is my favorite werewolf movie. The Doll, which was an Anthony recommend. Quiden, which is
which doll movie? Which one?
The most recent one, the one you did the review on. Did I get the title wrong?
No, it's just the Doll is such a stupidly generic title, and I really wish producers would stop calling movies The Doll and Nightmare and Midnight.
It's the one from Germany. I'm fucking with you. It's the.
Oh, you are. Which one?
It was Japanese. Where you just did a review on it, buddy, like a month ago. Maybe it was Dollhouse.
Oh, Dollhouse. Yes. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Dollhouse. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah.
And then, but more to the ones that I got to enjoy were the ones that I got to avoid, thanks to you guys. Like Take Me to Hell, Troll 2, Keeper was a movie by Osgood Perkins. After coming off of The Monkey, I was really kind of looking forward to it, but Anthony helped me dodge that bullet. Black Phone 2, I dodged that bullet thanks to comers like Holly. Yeah, and Peter Pan's Nightmare. That was one of the few IPs that I kind of liked the trailer for because it looked like kind of gritty. But like you said, it's just, from what I've heard from you and other reviewers, it's just utterly mean-spirited. And then there's the Indonesia, because I see, and I'll save it for another video, another talk, but Indonesia, I think, almost peaked for me personally at Satan's Slaves 1. But that's for another discussion. But shout out to you, Dan. Shout out to Shockmania channel, and shout out to the Discord and the folks who are in it who keep lively engagement and lots of content. So thanks to all of you.
So Anthony's got a hilarious comment. I have not seen many Indo films, so we know that's Anthony's way of saying he is our resident Indonesian horror film fan, and I'm with you on a lot of the Indo stuff. There was this because of the religious majority of the country and them also being political leaders, a lot of the sleaze and stuff that was in Indonesian movies were toned down because, God forbid, you could see a woman in a bikini. Right? Have you seen what they do to SpongeBob SquarePants in Indonesia?
No.
There's a character in a bikini in that show. Is that correct?
I think the squirrel, when she takes off her suit, is in a bikini.
Yeah. She's blurred out in Indonesian TV. You don't see that at all. Right. That's how strict they are for a cartoon. So they got really nuts when it comes to movies. And now that's why all these movies are so heavily religious and heavily to do with following the faith of the majority, that we don't get those cool films that we used to in the early 2010s. Now, to say cool films, a lot of those were very crappy, low budget stuff, but they were still fun to watch. I'm glad to see Kwaidan written on your list because that is one of my absolute all-time favorite J-horror films. Specifically, I love Hoichi the Earless. I think that's a really great folk story turned into a movie. Have you seen that, Hannah?
I saw it once years ago. It's actually, I need to do a rewatch. I've actually been thinking about it recently, but now you've inspired me. I'm probably going to do that this week.
Awesome. I believe that the final story is unfinished. Now, I don't know where I heard this. And maybe if Justy was around, he probably could tell me. Because the final story just kind of ends weirdly. That's in a cup of tea, if you remember that one.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, so I'm not 100% convinced that there's an actual ending to that one. But I thought you didn't like Dreamhouse.
Oh no, I like that movie. No, I was having fun with it in our review because it was based on a true story. But no, that movie was thoroughly enjoying, and it stuck with me. And it's also a movie that, after you've given it the requisite 1, 2, 3 week digestion period, I look back on it fondly. I just thought, even though it forces me to allow, supposedly, bend my kind of rule that I put in earlier about how can I believe that this individual is capable of doing what she did. It did it in a way that was, like you found a way you're kind of like, cheering her on a bit. And you saw her getting beat up and she was having difficulties performing these kills. And it puts you in her shoes a little bit. So there was a lot there. The beginning scene with if you go back and you see how she killed the security guard, that leaves a little bit less to be desired now and how she did that. But still, even then, I thought the kills were pretty creative. They weren't like outrageous. It wasn't like she was like hoisting grown men up and putting them on meat hooks. So I just thought it was pretty cool. It was a good movie all the way through. Had a Pulp Fiction feel to it. I just really liked it.
What do you think about it, Holly?
I like that one too, and it wasn't like outlandish. Like if you think of like High Tension, which is what I enjoyed. It exactly what Nedd was saying. Because when you have like something like when you think about like High Tension in comparison, where it's just like, I know in movies you have to kind of like suspend some type of disbelief. But when you have something like that, where it's just like very obviously just like, okay, that makes no sense. How are you capable of doing that? Versus then, okay, you can kind of see it.
Yeah. She never had a clown in the cornfield style team, but hey.
We can't all.
So, team, we've come to the end of our hour. I just wanted to make a quick shout out to Lyle's top 3 films of the year. They were Weapons, Sinners, and Primitive War. I have not seen Primitive War, nor have I seen Sinners. But I think we can all agree with him on Weapons. Do you have any final words, Nedd or Holly, before we head off for the evening?
Yeah. So I can't let you leave on a high note with a big head here after I just propped you up because I got to give you some more digs.
Thank you, sir.
Your year-end video. I don't think you should be able to grade movies that you didn't finish. And I mean didn't finish. I mean didn't even get halfway through. So The House That Jack Built. I feel, should get no ghost for the purposes of unable to score.
Dude,
Just saying.
That was so hard.
You didn't even get the boob wallet. If you don't get the boob wallet, you don't get to grade it.
Well, it should have done a better job of getting to boob wallet quicker.
I mean, I watched Ass Zombies that week. I made it through. You couldn't watch The House That Jack Built. And I gave you the preface. It was a long movie. So it's not like you went into it blind.
Good Lord, it was a long film.
Wait, was it? You only watched 40 minutes of it?
I missed literally a feature-length version of another movie afterwards.
The other thing, too, is you didn't talk about Locked. You didn't talk about Day of the Beast. And you didn't talk about Inseminoid or Bad Moon or Super Hybrid. I know we didn't actually get a chance to review it, but we did say on the show we were going to watch it. So those shows, none of those movies made your year-end review.
Yeah, that's true.
And that I love you.
Well, I love you too. And I, you know what? I was looking back on old thumbnails where you had that beard, and I like you much better without the beard.
Oh, okay. Well, then for you.
Yeah, and Holly, I like you much better without the beard too. Just saying.
My final thought is I just want to know how you went and you picked up Zombie Ass and genuinely thought that looked like it was going to be decent. I'm just curious.
Say the cover again, Holly, and then you can tell me. So there's a head there, and there's a girl in a schoolgirl uniform, and clearly boob action is about to happen. So that was my thinking. You know, I was 30 at the time when I bought this. So hey, you know.
Because you're like, yeah, I looked at this. This looks like it'll be decent. I'm just like, where? How?
I have a DVD player.
Yeah, and you know, I thought I might never see this movie again. This is the fun of shopping. I know. You know, you just come across this stuff. Both of you have a great and safe New Year.
Oh, yeah.
And same for everyone in the chat. I loved having you along. Do you have one more final show and tell for us, Nedd?
Huh? No, you guys can care about your business. I got a date tonight.
Well, someone's got a football game to go to, so I don't want him to miss it. Holly, oh my God, you look like a thug.
Let me get my machete.
Are you watching this on television or are you going to the stadium?
No, I'm not going to San Francisco.
All right, well,
this kind of looks like an alter ego.
It does. You're like Fred Durst's skinnier vegan brother.
No. If you want, I got another prop if you can bear with me for 10 seconds.
10 seconds. So Holly, he's your countryman. He's not mine.
Yeah, well, you know, we accept anybody here.
So I've seen on the TV. Yes.
Yeah, that's what they keep saying.
We in Australia too. Look at this guy.
This is Pepper.
How can I solo
number 54?
I wish I
love
could
it. You. Oh, now I wish I had mine.
Oh, I can't solo.
No, you. Not that dog's in a Jets shirt.
She's not. She's in a Christmas sweater still.
All right, everyone. Say your final goodbyes, and thank you so much for the chat. Hang on, don't leave the room just as yet after we've left the chat. Okay, both of you.
Later, nerds.
Have a great time. See you later.